Do you find yourself spending 3 to 6 hours on research for every project, bouncing between tabs, copy pasting, fact checking, and still not feeling confident in what you have? In this video, I'm going to show you a Perplexity workflow that turns that entire process into about 20 minutes. And by the end, you'll have a system you can run on any project, starting today. Here's what manual research actually looks like. You open a tab, you scan a headline, you find a stat, but you're not sure if the source is credible, so you open 3 more tabs to check it. You copy something into a Google Doc. You lose track of which tab had the useful thing. You start over. You write a summary. You realize halfway through that you missed an angle entirely, so you go back to Google and do it again. That process has a name: reactive research. You're reacting to whatever the algorithm serves you, piecing things together as you go with no system underneath it. And the output reflects that. Decent, but not something you'd confidently hand to a client. The problem isn't that you're bad at research. The problem is that the tools you're using were never built for research. Google was built for discovery. Chat was built for conversation. Neither of them was designed to take a raw question and deliver a structured, source-backed brief you can actually use. That's the gap this video fills. What I'm going to show you isn't a shortcut. It's a system. By the end, you'll have a workflow that produces better research in less time, every time you use it. In the last video, we talked about what a modern AI workflow looks like. Today, we're going one level deeper, into research specifically, which is where most people are still losing the most time. You already know what it costs. Google returns links, not answers. ChatGPT gives confident answers with no sources you can verify, so you spend 2 or 3 hours bouncing between tabs, copy-pasting, fact-checking, trying to stitch together something that actually holds up. Perplexity Pro fixes that. It reads the web, synthesizes it, cites every claim, and gets you to a first-pass brief in 15 to 20 minutes. In this video, I'm going to walk you through that system step by step so you can follow along in real time. It's built on 3 parts of Perplexity. Deep Research is your researcher, Spaces is your project manager, and Pages is your report writer. Together, they function like a small research team, one that works in minutes, not days. I'll call it back to those roles at each step so you always know which part of the team is doing what. Before we dive into the steps, here's the core difference. I ran the same research question through 3 tools. What are the major trends shaping the home fitness equipment market in 2025? Google returned links. You do the synthesis yourself. ChatGPT gave a confident overview with no sources you can verify. Perplexity Pro returned a synthesized answer with numbered citations you can click, organized it, and can turn it into a shareable page when you're done. That's the difference. Now let's build it. This entire system runs in 5 steps. Follow along as I walk through each one. Step 1. Create your space, your project manager. Before you run a single search, set up your project folder. In Perplexity, this is called a space. Why this comes first. Most people open a tool and start searching immediately, then try to organize later. That's backwards. If your folder doesn't exist before your first search, that search lives nowhere. It can't be starred, threaded, or turned into a page. You can't build a research system on top of a pile of disconnected threads. So the space has to exist before anything else does. Here's exactly what to do. Go to the left sidebar and click Spaces. Hit New Space. Name it after your project, not the date. Home fitness market. Client A is searchable 6 months later. Research 528 is not. Every search you run inside this space stays organized there for the life of the project. This is the step most people skip. And it's why most AI research workflows fall apart at the organization stage, not the searching stage. Step 2. Run your anchor search. Your researcher gets to work. Your anchor search is the broad, foundational question. It sets the baseline for everything that follows. Why second? You need a landscape before you can navigate it. Broad first, then narrow. Before you type anything, select Deep Research from the search bar. You'll see it as a mode option alongside the standard search. Deep Research runs multiple search passes in sequence, each one building on what the previous pass found, then synthesizes across all of them. That's what produces the cited, structured answer instead of a confident paragraph with nothing behind it. Here's an example prompt. What are the major trends shaping the home fitness equipment market in 2025? Once the results come back, click 2 or 3 of the numbered citation links and confirm the claims hold up. You're not reading full articles, just scanning for the specific stat or claim Perplexity referenced. This is your baseline. If a source doesn't hold up, note it and move on. Step 3. Go deeper with follow-up threads. Direct your researcher. Inside the same conversation, start layering questions. Each follow-up builds on the last answer. Because it's all inside the same thread, Perplexity carries context forward. You're not re-explaining the project every time. Why third? Follow-up threads only have traction when they're pulling on something the anchor search already surfaced. Run 3 to 5 follow-up threads. For the home fitness example, that might look like this. Which brands are gaining market share and why? What are the biggest consumer complaints about current products? What important aspects of this topic did your previous answer not cover? That last one is the gap prompt. It tells Perplexity to self-audit and surface angles you might have missed. Use it after every anchor search. It's exactly what a good research assistant would do before handing you a brief. Step 4. Sharpen your results with advanced prompts. How you frame the question changes what you get back. These 3 upgrades will immediately improve output quality. Precision prompting only pays off once you know what you're looking for. Steps 2 and 3 give you that context. Instead of asking a plain question, give Perplexity a role and a structure to follow. Here's an example prompt. Act as a market analyst. Summarize the top 5 risks facing home fitness equipment brands in 2025 and format your answer as a numbered list with 1 supporting data point per risk. That framing means the output drops into your page without editing. When you need contrast, ask for it directly. Here's a prompt example. Compare the marketing strategies of Peloton and Tonal in 2024. What did each brand prioritize and what were the measurable results? Comparison prompts force the AI to pull specific, contrasting evidence rather than giving you a general overview. Add this line to any prompt when source quality matters. An example prompt looks like this. Cite only industry reports, news outlets, or brand press releases, not blog posts or opinion pieces. One line immediately raises the quality of evidence you get back. Step 5. Verify your sources. Quality control before the report writer. Getting better answers is only half the job. The other half is making sure those answers hold up under scrutiny. This is the step that separates a credible brief from one that quietly embarrasses you. Why verify your sources? A shaky source baked into the page is harder to remove than to prevent. 5 minutes of checking now saves a credibility problem later. After your anchor search and follow-up threads, do a quick source audit. Click through the numbered citations on your 3 or 4 most important answers. You're checking 2 things. Is the source credible? A Reuters article, an industry association report, or a brand's investor filing carries more weight than a listicle on a marketing blog. Does the source actually say what Perplexity claims it says? Scan for the specific stat or claim. You're not reading the full article. If a citation doesn't hold up, run a follow-up prompt. Find a primary source or industry report that supports the claim that home fitness equipment sales declined in 2023. Also run the contradiction check before you finalize. Are there credible sources that contradict the trends you've described? What's the counterargument? This stress tests your research and makes your final brief more credible, because you've already accounted for the other side. Perplexity pulls live data, but some indexed articles are older than they look. Always glance at the publication date on anything you plan to use as a primary claim. A 2022 market share figure in a 2025 brief quietly kills your credibility. Step 6. Generate the page. Your report writer delivers. Your research is solid. Now it's time for your report writer to deliver. The page is only as good as what goes into it. Everything in steps 1 to 5 exists so that this step produces something worth sending. As of filming, Perplexity has temporarily retired the Create a Page button for all users. According to Perplexity's own help center, the Create Page feature is temporarily retired, and Convert to Page will be returning shortly with enhanced capabilities. This isn't a setting or account issue. The button simply doesn't exist in the current UI for anyone. Until Pages comes back, your report writer has a different workflow, and it still gets the job done. Here's the interim process. Use the export option from your deep research report to download a PDF or document. Take that export into Google Docs, Notion, or your doc tool of choice, and do a light editorial pass. Tighten the structure, verify the key claims carry through, and format it for whoever is receiving it. For Tech Edgewave style workflows, the export maps cleanly onto your content pipeline. The deep research report becomes a video outline, a PDF lead magnet, or the research layer underneath a script. The citations are already embedded in the output. When Perplexity re-enables the updated Convert to Page feature, look for it in the Export or Share menu of a conversation or deep research report, not the library sidebar where the old button lived. The step-by-step in the original workflow will apply as is once it's back. Here's what this looks like end-to-end on 2 actual use cases. Example 1. Competitor. Research for a new client. A marketing consultant gets a new client in the meal kit delivery space. They need a competitive landscape brief before the kickoff call. In 2 days, not 2 weeks. They open Perplexity, create a collection called Meal Kit Competitive Landscape, Client B, and run the anchor search. Prompt: who are the top 5 meal kit delivery brands in the US in 2025? And what are their core positioning strategies? ProSearch pulls from industry reports, brand websites, and recent press coverage. Cited overview in under a minute. 3 follow-up threads: pricing comparisons, customer complaint patterns, recent funding, or acquisition activity. They run the contradiction check, star the 4 strongest threads, and generate the page. The result? A 5-section competitive brief with executive overview, brand-by-brand positioning, pricing table, consumer pain points, and a counter-argument section, all with live citations. Total time, including review and light editing, about 25 minutes. Previous workflow, half a day, minimum. Example 2. Content research for a long-form video script. A content creator needs to script a 15-minute tutorial on AI tools for e-commerce businesses. Before they can write, they need to know what tools exist, what problems they solve, and which pain points their audience cares about most. They create a space called AI Tools for E-commerce, script research, and run the anchor search. Prompt: what are the most widely adopted AI tools for e-commerce businesses in 2025, and what specific problems do they solve? Follow-up threads cover 3 angles: customer service automation, inventory forecasting, and AI-driven personalization on product pages. They run the gap prompt and surface a 4th angle they hadn't considered: AI-powered return reduction tools. They apply the source filter to prioritize industry reports over blog content, star 6 threads, and generate the page. Result: a 4-section research brief with tool-by-tool breakdowns, cited statistics, and a structure that maps directly onto their script outline. 3 hours of tab research becomes a stronger foundation in under 20 minutes. Deep research, spaces, and pages aren't 3 separate features. They're one connected system. You search deep, you organize as you go, and you deliver something polished at the end, without the copy-paste chaos. This workflow replaces roughly 4 to 6 hours of manual research per week for most solo operators. Over a month, that's a full workday back in your calendar. Your challenge this week: pick one project you've been putting off because the research felt overwhelming, and run it through this 6-step workflow today. See what lands in your page. Research is only half the problem. Once you've collected all this information, you need somewhere to store it, organize it, and actually use it later. That's exactly what we're building in the next video: how to connect Perplexity and Notion into a complete AI-powered knowledge management system.